Okay, so since I couldn't find a replacement IC for the multiplex circuit in this radio, what I'm going to do is a bit of an experiment here. What I have here is a piece of a circuit board from an old stereo with AM FM, and this has a multiplex IC in it. It's an LA3361, which is not the same as the old one. I was checking the datasheet and everything. So what I thought I would do is I was going to take this out of here and breadboard it and hook it up to my radio circuit, my multiplex circuit, and see if it would work. And then if it did, I would breadboard it or solder it onto a prototyping board and just leave it there until I found a proper replacement IC. But I figured, why do all that work building a circuit around it if it's already built on this circuit board right here? It's already perfect here. So what I'm going to do, or what I did rather, is I mapped out everything that has to do with the multiplex circuit in this circuit board with black marker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out of this circuit board here, and then I'm going to hook it up to power and all the appropriate signals, and this is going to be turned into a multiplex module, a discrete multiplex decoder module, and I'm just going to hook it up. I think it's about 5 wires to hook it up to the radio circuit that I have, and I'll just leave it in there till I find the appropriate replacement IC, and after that I can take this out and just keep it as a little discrete decoder module, which would be pretty cool. So let's cut this thing out and see if this experiment works. Alright, so check that out. This scrap radio board has now been turned to a multiplex decoder module. I still have some irrelevant components. You know, everything that's not in black is an irrelevant component to the multiplex. So I might pluck those out, I might leave them in, I don't know. But yeah, I just gotta hook up power and all the appropriate signals to this thing and hook it up to my stereo and see if it works. Might also try it with like a few different radios just to see if it works with any kind of FM input or audio, you know, like from the headphone jack of an FM radio, of a transistor radio or something like that. But there you go. Cut out pretty nicely, and if I ever find the right IC for that radio, I can take this back out and I'll put this in an enclosure and just use it as a FM multiplex decoder. So here's our little decoder module all piped into the radio board down here. Clean this up really nice. I've got a ground wire going to ground over there on the circuit board. Power wire, it's tapped right into the positive of that capacitor there, which is the power supply for the original IC. Orange wire is the lamp driver pin, and that's hooked up over here on the resistor from the indicator LED. 2 shielded wires, 1 stereo, 1 single lead, stereo 1 stereo output down here to the board where the stereo goes in, and 1 single lead shielded wire for the composite input, which I have hooked up to the capacitor over here. I bypassed the input capacitor on the board here in favor of the one over here. Initially I had an issue where I was getting one channel sounding louder than the other one. Turns out that there's basically right at the output of this thing there's a capacitor and a resistor in series, but on one channel the resistor comes before the capacitor, and on the other channel the capacitor comes before the resistor. So that sort of wiring I did here, I got it wrong, and on one channel I bypassed the capacitor and on the other I didn't. So I just bridged the resistor here on the right channel, and that made it sound even. During that I thought the IC had gone bad or something, because I initially had a wiring error. So I took it out in frustration and put a socket in here, and I put in a different chip. I still have like 2 other ones of these, and that didn't resolve the problem till I figured it was this thing, the resistor I needed to bridge. But I'm actually kind of glad I put that socket in there, because it's really convenient for whenever I want to swap chips or anything like that. I actually put the original IC back in here so it wouldn't affect the alignment of the oscillator here and stuff. But yeah, this thing worked right away on the first try. And the reason I have everything just soldered on the top of stuff here is because when if I ever find the original IC, I just want to be able to drop that in there, and that'll set up the original circuit, and I just want to be able to pluck these wires off here that belong to the module and just take the module back out, which I can use for other stuff. I plan on putting it on an enclosure or something like that. And I just have the little module tucked away to the side over here with a piece of paper to keep it from shorting. Should be totally fine right there. I'm quite proud of this one. You see that? Let me get my lamp away from here. Look at that. Stereo multiplex is freaking working. Tune out of the station, goes away. Tune into a station, and there's multiplex. How about that one? That works flawlessly. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That exceeds my expectations. So yeah, now the next video would be putting this thing back into the cabinet, and hopefully nothing else goes wrong before I do that. But yeah, stay tuned for that one.